Hey everyone, my name is Tony and welcome back to Soul Freaks. So for this episode, I know it's a little bit late to have a review for this particular pair, but I am curious with the mixed reviews that I've been hearing about this one. So join us in this episode and we'll have a look ourselves. So let's go. Alright, so what we have here is the Lebron 19 Low Light Crimson. Now, this is the 19th signature sneaker of LeBron, but only the 12th low cut of this silhouette. So, this was released back in 2021. And of course, much like any of the timeline, the low cut comes out right after 2 to 3 months after the initial release of the mid cut of the LeBron 19. So, estimate of early 2022. Now, in this case, this is the light crimson colorway, and technically this is not available locally, but if you know someone from a different area or overseas, I think that's the best way to get this colorway. Because locally, this is not available, and we only have a few, which is the Fruity Pebbles and the Titan collaboration, which is Beyond the Seas. So technically, to get this, I had to bid in StockX. So it was a good bid. So I didn't hesitate. So technically, it was like an outlet price overall, given how low it is versus the standard retail price. Alright, so let's go for the design and materials that was used for the Lebron 19. Now, in terms of the build and the design, you can see that it has that similar shape to the Lebron 6. So it's somewhat also a low-cut version of the Lebron 6. Now, much like its mid-top counterpart, it has that same bulky design on the lateral view. Now, for a low-cut sneaker, this is a little bit bulky by design. But when I was doing the unboxing, I thought I bought the wrong size, but at the end of the day, it was the correct one. Now, for the upper materials, what we have here is the lino weave fabric. So this is the same fabric that was used for the Air Jordan 36. Now, since coming out of the same year, it made sense to use the same materials. Now, under this one is a thick cushion or a thick fabric. So what they did here is a double layered upper for the design. So in a way, it has its good impact, but at the same time, it has a negative impact while wearing the sneaker as well. So on the toe box area, or what we call the toe pad area, we have here is a synthetic leather consisting it. So same as the toe pad area, on the heel counter or heel side of the sneaker, it has that same synthetic leather. Now inside this heel area is we have the ankle tab. So this is a ankle support by functionality. So it follows the same design as the Lebron 18. So they also have the ankle tab on it. Now, in terms of other portions of the design, we have the tongue. So for the tongue, here is we have the lion logo of Lebron and his LJ Nike logo as well on the top. So it's also the same soft cushion for the tongue. So it has now for the midsole, it follows the same pattern as the Nike Lebron 17 and 18 low respectively. But in this case, we have the Nike React cushion on the forefoot, and we have the Air Max unit on the heel area. Now, the difference for the Lebron 19 here is the Nike React cushion is almost full length of the sneaker. So just under it is the Air Max unit. So the Nike React cushion has been used for quite a while with running shoes, training shoes, and even basketball shoes. Now, in terms of the Air Max unit here is it has a unique design, so only at the edge of the sneaker. Now, to circulate the air of the unit, they installed or included a windpipe or air pipe right here on the midfoot area. So this is what circulates the air when you pump in some of it inside the sneaker. So you can locate that on the insole. So as you make any step or any movement, it pumps up the air inside the Air Max unit. Now, in terms of the traction pattern, so we have here on the outer sole, it also has that unique design. So the goal here is to have a good grip on the ground. But in this case, it's too much grip. So we have a single direction traction pattern for the 19. So it's horizontal. Now, linearly, forward, backward movement, this is good, but laterally, this kind of slows down the movement. So, given that you have a react cushion to give you that quick response, this kind of traction pattern could some way be a disadvantage because of how it was designed. So, aside from that, we also have the lateral side plate and the herringbone for added stability. So the sizing for the Lebron 19 here is true to size. So much like any of the other Lebrons that we have in the past, you can follow your true to size. Now, if you have a wide foot, you can go a half size up. And another reason to go a half size up here is if you wear thicker socks. So usually basketball socks are thicker, so you can consider that as a factor. Also, if you wear other accessories such as ankle braces, so another reason to double check your size. So I do recommend to go to a physical store and try them out. But if you want to buy online, so the best advice that I can give you is this is true to size. And if you play basketball, I recommend a half size up. Alright now, so let's go for an overall view on the Lebron 19. Now, much like I mentioned earlier, the design for the low cut here is a little bit bulky, at least for a low cut design. Now, nevertheless, there's purpose on this one. So, it promises some kind of good lockdown, good comfort and stability and stuff. But yet, the design is a little bit too bulky. Again, at least for a low-cut sneaker. Now, another thing that bothers me about the design here is it's a little bit too fragile. So, given that it's just a simple lateral look on the design, as you can see, this plastic right here, what's holding the lino wave upper. So if this breaks, there's no way of replacing this one. So you really have to take care of your pair. So again, a little bit fragile on this one. Now, next here is the ventilation. So this is the main issue that I have with the Lebron 19, the ventilation. So given that it promises a good lockdown on the midfoot and in the heel counter, the big issue here is the spacing and ventilation. So as you wear your sneaker, especially if you play longer minutes compared to other of your teammates, so the ventilation here does not have a good spacing. So as you play by, there are this issue that your foot is kind of heating up, so you can cramp along the way, something like that. So it's too warm inside. So spacing and ventilation is not good for the Lebron 19. And lastly, another issue that I see here is the traction itself. So this kind of traction pattern, so we have a single direction traction pattern here. So this kind of traction is only good on a linear logic. So if you run from forward, backward, it's okay. You have a good traction on that. But on a lateral side, given that you have a good combination of midsole of the React cushion and Air Max here, this kind of traction pattern will give you a little bit of a slower response in terms of lateral movements. So those are the stuff or issues that I see for the Lebron 19 low. So all in all, I'll give this an average one because yes, the ventilation is my main concern here. So the spacing inside is not good. So, but other than that, I guess we can give it an average on the effort for the Lebron 19. So it seems I understand why at the time Lebron preferred using the Ambassador 13 versus both Lebron 19 mid and the low cut itself. So I guess one thing there is the spacing and ventilation could be one of the issues, and even the traction itself. So we can't say for sure, but I guess those could be part of his reasons. So alright, so I think that's about it for this episode. So let us know what you think of the Lebron 19 low. So do you really think that because of the ventilation and the traction issue was the reason why Lebron was preferring to wear the Ambassador 13 rather than the main 19 sneaker line at the time? So are there other factors that we should consider? So with that said, let us know what you think. Feel free to write it down in our comment section below. And before we finally end the video, we would like to ask everyone to please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have sneaker tips, sneaker review, and anything under the sun. We also have our social media website, Facebook and Instagram. Follow us at Soul Freaks. So with that, would like to thank everyone for tuning in into this episode and hope that you like it and help if you want to purchase the Lebron 19 low. So like what we say here in Soul Freaks, my name is Tony, and thank you. Keep moving forward.